Okay. Hey you guys, my name is Kylie. Welcome to my channel, and here is my August TBR. So I just moved from Waco, Texas to Los Angeles, California this past week, and I don't have a job, and all the few friends I do have here all have jobs, and so I have a lot of free time, and I'm not going to let my mom beat me in her Goodreads. Well, she has already beat me in my Goodreads challenge, but I'm not going to not meet my Goodreads challenge, especially since I have all this time on my hands, and I've had a whole year to watch everything on Netflix, right? But yeah, let's get started. So the first book on my TBR is The Rise of Nine. It is the third book in the I Am Number 4 series. This one, kind of is a continuation. Obviously, it's the third book. But yeah. The next book on my TBR is The Sea of Trolls by Nancy Farmer. I recently read, this is her first series, and I just finished reading a secondary series that she had called The Lord of Opium, and I forget what the first book is called. And I really, really liked it, and so what else has she written? And the back is, Jack was 11 when the berserkers loomed out of the fog and nabbed him. It seems that things were stirring across the water, the bard had warned. Ships are being built, swords are being forged. Is that bad? Jack asked. For his Saxon village had never seen berserkers. Of course, people don't make ships and swords unless they intend to use them. It's the year AD 793, and the next month, Jack and his little sister Lucy are enslaved by Olaf Onebrow and his fierce young shipmate, Thorgil. With a crow named Bold Heart for mysterious company, they are swept up into an adventure quest in the spirit of Lord of the Rings. I'm excited to read this. It's kind of been on my TBR for a while. I got it a few months back. I love fantasy, and again, I really, really enjoy her writing style, and I really enjoy her focus on differing young narratives. I just think I'm excited. So the next two on my list are technically rereads for me. So I just moved to California. I want to be an actress, maybe a writer. And I read this at the beginning of the pandemic. But now that I've moved to Los Angeles, I, think it deserves a reread. I found it really helpful. It is Jenna Fischer's Actor Survivor Guide. Jenna Fischer, obviously, the lovely Pam from The Office. And I found it really helpful even in the middle of a pandemic. She took such time and care to help, the next generation of actors. And obviously, reading it for the first time, in April, in the middle of a shutdown, only so much of it can apply to me. A struggling actor is a struggling actor is a struggling actor. I'm just excited to, reread this, in where both she wrote it and, where she was when thinking about writing it. I mean, obviously, she moved to LA. So, again, the second one is also technically going to be a reread for me. I read this book growing up, The Gone series by Michael Grant. I really love fantasy, and I really love science fiction, and this was just such a interesting book to read when I was growing up. It is about a group of children who get stuck inside of this essentially nuclear fallout bubble. Without the fallout, but there is a physical bubble that traps them inside of the town that they're in. Everyone over the age of 16 and up are taken out of the town. Oh yes, up near San Francisco. It's a little bit south. It takes place a little bit south of San Francisco. Some of these kids have developed superpowers. I really like the magic system that is utilized. If you run super fast, obviously your shoes are going to get worn down, you're using a ton of calories, stuff like that. Hopefully it's a comfort read, you know what I mean? Moving alone is hard. So that's kind of, that to me, that's very ambitious for me. I'm kind of a slow reader, but again, I have too much time on my hands, so I feel like that will be most of my free time, but I do have a short list of maybe TBR for August, starting with Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling is she's my idol. I really want to be her. You know what I mean? She's such a successful comedian and such a successful writer and such a successful actress. She's beautiful. She's a strong, independent mother. I love everything that Mindy Kaling stands for. And I love her work, and I love her. I read her first book, Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me? And that was just such, I wouldn't say it was a life-changing book, but it was such a unique look into the life of a young, Indian American woman, but then also a young creative and a young artist, and all of, the success and struggles that she had. And I'm really excited to eventually get to this. Maybe it'll happen in August, maybe not, but it's coming up. Okay, so this last one is kind of hopeful. I'll probably be reading it intermittent when I do start it, like with other books, just because Game of Thrones books are super thick and super full of lore and super full of obviously characters and names and places and activities and political intrigue and all of that stuff. And this is the third one, Storm of Swords. I don't know. I did watch the series, and I have enjoyed reading the other two books. I've laughed, I've cried, I skipped some. You know how it is. But yeah, this is up next. And then last, I don't know. I have a few audiobooks. I usually listen to audiobooks kind of as I'm going to bed. I don't really like to listen to the audiobook while I read it. Just because that's just, my brain, it's like, yes, it's like someone reading it to you, but then it's like my eyes are right here. So I just kind of listen to them either on walks or when I'm going to bed and cooking, cleaning, other stuff like that. I'm going to read or listen to The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. I actually have not ever read any of her books. I've just listened to them, but I listened to One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next. I know she has a few others, but The Cousins is what's kind of next on my list. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That was my August to be read. If you have read them, what are your recommendations? If you are reading something else this season or this month, let me know what you're reading. Recommendations based off what I'm reading, or nothing. That's also fine. All of my links, my Goodreads, my Instagram, my Twitter will be in the description box. And yeah, thank you so much. You guys have a good one.